All right, welcome to the Wrestling with Altitude podcast. I am your host, Mr. Fourth Row, and on the phone call right now, I have two representatives of one of the newest promotions here in the Colorado area, and that's Redemption Championship Wrestling. And I have Jason and James. I'm sorry, what was his last name again? Gribble. Okay. All right. And they're going to talk to us about the promotion and everything. So, gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
Good.
We're good, doing good.
All right. So, I guess I won't maybe necessarily direct the questions to anyone in particular as we're introducing the promotion, but tell us about RCW. How did it get started?
I'll let you have the floor, James.
Well, I actually started professional wrestling back in 1989. I've been doing it a little over 30 years. And Jason is my youngest cousin, and he just flipped out when he saw me do this stuff. And skip forward to a few years later, last summer, we've done a few shows for some other promotions. I trained both Jason and my brother, and my brother and I and Jason got together, and we decided to kick off a promotion of our own to kind of, because Colorado Springs had it, but nobody really came down out to the Southeast Plains. So we decided to focus on that area and see what we can do.
Oh, very cool. And tell the listeners where RCW is based out of, just in case if they're not familiar exactly with the Colorado geography.
Actually, we're based out of three areas.
Okay.
Canyon City, Colorado, Fowler, Colorado, and Los Animas, Colorado.
Okay.
Which is basically where all three of us live. Jason lives in Canyon, I live in Fowler, and my brother Martin lives in Los Animas. And that way we can kind of encompass, and we have a representative all up and down the Arkansas Valley here.
Oh, very, very cool. All right, so just to fill in the listeners, that area is in, like, they're talking about the southern part of Colorado and the southern plains, like they were saying. So, yeah. So, yeah, and I'm familiar with the area personally because my dad and his my uncles and sister, they grew up in Texas Creek, which is fairly close to Canyon City. So
yeah,
yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So very cool. All right. So you guys decided that you wanted to start the promotion just because, just to get a little bit of extra, shows that are going, from the Colorado Springs area. Do you get a lot of people travel from the Springs and even further to come to the shows?
Well, we've had people from all over the state of Colorado when we work for another promotion come down here for these shows.
Okay.
This will actually be our April 27th will actually be our first show as Redemption Championship Wrestling. So we're hoping to get people from all over the state to come in and give us a hand with making some money for the special education department there in Canyon City.
Okay, so this is a benefit show as well.
Yes, sir.
It is.
Oh, very cool. So what made you choose that charity for this?
Well, first off, the school teachers always need help. They always spend their money. It's just a great opportunity to help out any school, first off. And second off, the special education department is it's how can I put this? It's really good to help out people that are in need and that can not do it all themselves. So the special education department, I was actually approached by one of the school employees, and that's when I decided to talk to James and Martin about moving forward with it.
Oh, very cool. Okay. All right. And I totally agree. We always hear the stories about teachers are not paid enough and they have to even spend their own money for supplies and etc. So, and I would assume special education even gets a further, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to call it neglect, but doesn't get as much attention as even just the regular program.
Exactly. And this is just one way we can help out.
Very cool. All right. And is this going to be mainly geared to the special education in that area, the Canyon City, Los Animas area?
Well, this
Go ahead, James.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this
go ahead.
particular is going to be geared more for Canyon City right there.
Okay.
We have June 15th, we have another show set up, and we're actually going to be donating to the after school program up there for their community center.
Oh, cool. So, so is this going to be an ongoing thing? The shows are always going to have a benefit charity?
As much as we can.
Okay.
We plan on doing a few sold shows and stuff like that to help us keep the business alive and keep it going.
Right.
But anyway, we can find to give back to the communities in need. We're gonna take a look at that and see if we can't make that at least a top priority. Whether they're actually a sponsored charity or whether we just make a donation that night after the show.
Oh, cool.
We just donated to the school. What school was that, James? We donated some money to the dance class school or something. What was that?
They're in City. I can't remember the name of it.
Right.
So yeah, it's one of the things where Redemption Championship Wrestling, if we can help out in any way, we're going to do it. We're always out there trying to put ourselves out there, and not even if it involves a wrestling show, but volunteering and doing things like that.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Well, volunteering is kind of one of my things in my heart too. I do a lot for the American Diabetes Association and
Nice.
things like that. So yeah, cool. Very cool. I'm proud of that. Cool. All right. So you had mentioned James. You had mentioned that you guys had done other you worked for doing other promotions as well, and I'm assuming that those promotions are pretty much gone by the wayside.
Yeah, a lot of them have gone out of business. I mean, I started this business back in 1989. I was trained by an organization out of Lamar, Colorado called Superstars of Professional Wrestling. And then I've done some work for Tri-State Professional Wrestling. And I've been all over the United States doing this. I actively retired in 2000 until they kind of dug me out of mothballs to come out and do a charity show there in Los Angeles. And then once the wrestling bug bit me again, it's kind of hard to stop.
Right. Yeah. Cool. All right. So, let's see here. I was going to ask you guys. So, speaking of that, what kind of do you guys have a lot of local talent? Do you get a lot of talent from other places in Colorado? And what about the United States and the world? What kind of talent comes in and wrestles for RCW?
So
Or is going
we
to?
have talent we have local talent here in Colorado, but we also have guys from Texas. A really good guy. His name is Chad Thomas. He's going to wrestle actually Outlaw, James Gribble there. We also have guys coming from Oklahoma. We want everybody to strive to the best of their ability, and if we're able to get them in, we'll get them in where we can get them in, whether it's from Colorado, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico. We're trying to focus on the guys here in Colorado because there's plenty of great talent up here. Just the shows are starting to get bigger as we go. But this card right here, we do got Colorado, we got Oklahoma, and we got Texas.
Cool. All right. So what names do we got coming in for this show on the 27th?
Well, we have from Oklahoma, we actually have a tag team called the New and Improved Express. New York Express, my bad, I apologize. They're facing Martin Justice and Tyler Watts in a tag team match for the ACW tag titles, we're going to see how that goes because I'm very interested in seeing how those two teams go. As far as I know, they're both, father and son.
Oh.
Yeah. So that should be interesting in itself. We have Dr. Kobe Black. He's from Oklahoma. There's a gentleman named Prince Mahali. I'm not exactly where he's from. So that one's out of my hands. I have no clue. We just recently had a gentleman that was on here, Terry Pantera. I wish him and his family the best of luck. So, and then we got a guy from Pueblo. What's KT from Color Springs? Jay Zilla from Pueblo. Myself from Canyon. Bean Dini from Los Animas. A gentleman named Irish Extreme. He's from Los Animas as well. Some of the matches we have a tables match, which I'm involved in myself, which that should be interesting. I've never been in a tables match, so it should be very interesting for that match.
And then I've got some unfinished business with Mr. Chad Thomas to take care of this time around. Him and I wrestled each other last year in Rocky Ford, Colorado, and that kind of turned into a slobber knocker. He broke my ribs and several other things. So when you come out to the show here in Canyon City, don't expect a wrestling match between us two. That's going to be more of a fight.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Well, I saw. I've seen some of these names that you mentioned in CSW, of course, as well, and I think I've seen you, Jason. They're promoting the shows as well, so that's very cool. So how's that been? You guys getting really good partnership there with CSW, and do you partner with Iron Hills Championship Wrestling as well?
Oh, yeah. CSW and Iron Hills, they kind of rolled out a red carpet for us when we told we were going to start our own promotion. They have done nothing but bend over backwards to help us, and we really appreciate everything that they've done for us. Big Guns, Justin Andrews,
Big Guns.
Several others that they have just been more than willing to, help us get acquainted with Colorado talent. And just basically helped us nonstop get this thing up off the ground, and we're trying our best to kind of give back to those guys and help them out as much as we can too. We're not going to just be a wrestling promotion. We're kind of a one-stop shop. We build ring equipment and everything else. So we've been helping them get some of their stuff put together. It's been a very cooperating experience this time around. So yeah, our hats off to CSW, Iron Hills, and all the Colorado promotions.
Oh, yeah. That's where CSW is also where we found Bruce Rogers, which is going to be here in Canyon City as well.
Oh, okay. I know Bruce. All right.
Yeah. He's here too. He's going to be in our Cinema main event actually now. I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures on Facebook or the posters, but he's in our Cinema main event for the Heritage Championship, the BCWs, which is a triple threat match. And him and Dr. Kobe Black have some unfinished business as well. Mm-hmm. Not quite like Outlaws and Chad Thomas's, no, but they still have a little unfinished business to take care of. So that should be interesting too. And Bruce Rogers is him and Chad and Dr. Black, they're such good guys as well. Not just great wrestlers. They're just so cooperative. They're so willing and easy to work with. So if anybody ever picks them up, I recommend these guys.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I've had Bruce on the show, and of course I know him very well because he's a little bit closer to me because I'm in Denver. So I know Bruce lives just outside of Denver in the mountains, but yeah, so that's cool. I'm glad to see him there because he's a very good talent, and I'm glad to see him getting a lot of exposure in other promotions as well because he's got a lot. He does a lot. He almost does as much as Big Guns does. Mr. Colorado Wrestling, but not quite as much, but almost.
Yeah, and special thanks out to him too, especially Big Guns. He's the one that he reached out first, and him and CSW, and like I said, like James said, Iron Hills, they've all been great. We haven't kind of reached out too much to the other promotions like New Era and what's the other one?
We got there's Primos, there's Rocky Mountain Pro. There's quite a few in Denver. I mean, Colorado's exploding. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yes,
agreed. And
the wrestling scene here in Colorado right now is just on fire, and there is so much good talent right here in Colorado. But we see companies and people coming in from all over the United States just to come here to wrestle.
Right, yeah. I mean, especially like you guys have mentioned, Oklahoma and Texas. I think Texas is probably one of the biggest ones that the local talent comes up from there. So yeah, that's very cool. So
and BCW down in Oklahoma, they've been a tremendous help to us too.
Yes.
Gary Pantera runs that organization down there, and anything we need, questions we need answered, or just getting us in contact with talent, they've just been excellent to us.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. So you guys mentioned a lot of championship titles are going to be defended on those, and all of those are from are all of those from the out of state promotions that are just coming to defend there as well to kind of help you guys get going.
So
Go ahead, Jason.
All right, thanks, sir. Two of them are from other promotions. One of them, the first tag team match, is from ACW, which is out of Oklahoma as well.
Okay.
And then the Heritage title is from BCW. It's actually just introduced through BCW, and they're going to defend it at our show, Fury of War, here in Canyon City. But we have the main event is for the RCW Redemption Championship tag team titles in a tag team turmoil match.
Okay, cool. So you guys are going to be ramping up and having your own titles as well.
Well, yes,
right.
And
Okay.
June 15th.
Go ahead.
No, after you, James.
Right now, we have our tag team titles that we will be defending, or actually instating here at the Canyon City show.
Okay.
And then in June 15th, we're actually going to introduce the Redemption Championship Wrestling Ultimate title.
Ooh, cool. I like the name.
Thank you.
That's very, very
Yeah.
cool.
This is a title. One of the things that we talked about when we first started our promotion is we didn't want like heavyweight titles and things like that. We want anybody to contend for it. So this is actually the ultimate title. There is no weight class. Anybody that steps through the ropes that has proven themselves worthy enough to go for the title can go for the title. There's no weight classes. And our tag team turmoil, we have, I believe, 6 tag teams entering this match, but the 2 people that get the last pinfall are the tag team champions. So it might not be your tag team partner that's there at the end.
Ooh, I like that twist. That's very cool.
It could be 2 people from 2 different tag teams.
2 different locations in America.
And then they become our tag team champions.
Oh, very cool. Awesome. All right, so let me ask you a little bit more information on the Ultimate Championship. Would that also include, gender doesn't play a factor as well?
At this point in time, anybody. If it's male, female, anybody can compete for the Ultimate title.
Cool.
Anybody.
Very, very cool. All right. So, what other shows do you guys have come up? You got the one on April, one in June, any in May, or anything else booked out there in the future?
We're definitely taking May off. We're definitely taking May off. We got a lot of stuff going on in May. We're revamping things. We're in the process of making another ring. So we're definitely taking May off. Outlaw, anything on that one?
Well, in June we're doing the show there in Los Animas. We have shows in the works for Rocky Ford, Colorado, and we're looking at July for that. We're trying to get the contracts and everything settled there. We're also looking at Lamar, possibly Fowler, Ordway, La Junta. We're in talks with an organization there at the college at OJC in La Junta that they're interested in bringing us in for a benefit to kind of help the college out down there for some of their programs. So we're trying to get up and running and going just as fast as we can. It seems like April got here way too fast.
Yeah. And tell you what, it makes it easier with sponsors. Sponsors are just some of these people around here. Some of the sponsors, they're just amazing group of people to work with.
Yeah, we've had unbelievable help with this show with some of our sponsors like Tire King and
Pizza Madness.
Yeah, Pizza Madness there in Canyon City. Several of them have come forward just to help out and get us up and going.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very, very cool. All right. Well, Okay, well, I think that's pretty much all the questions I have for you guys now. But before I let you go, why don't you tell the listeners if they wanted to catch up with you, follow you up on with social media, where they can get tickets, all that kind of good stuff. Where could they do all that?
They can get us. They can get with us at Facebook at RCW Ultimate Champion. Just go straight to the thing, and they can also look it up. Redemption Championship Wrestling. As far as ticket places where we're going to get tickets, it's probably going to be there at the door, or they can get a hold of us at RCW Ultimate Champion and Facebook us on there, and we can get back to them with that. It's April 27th. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7.
Okay, and where's it at exactly?
It is in Canyon City Middle School. The address is 1215 Main Street in Canyon City, Colorado.
Okay, that should be pretty easy. Canyon City Middle School. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Jim,
all right.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, well, gentlemen, I really appreciate you coming on to the podcast and letting all the listeners get to know about RCW.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
All right, thanks. Once again, a big thank you to Jason and James, the Outlaw Gribble, for coming on to the podcast and letting us all know about, like I said, one of the newest promotions here in the Colorado area, Redemption Championship Wrestling. And they wanted to also let you guys know, we talked about this off of the official interview, but they have Gabby Gonzalez will be singing the national anthem at their show on this Saturday, the 27th of April. So check them out. Like I said, if you want to get tickets for them, best just to come up to the show and get the tickets at the door. So they're not quite set up yet there for online sales, but hopefully they'll get that in the future. Like I said, they're one of the fledgling promotions here in the Colorado area, so sometimes it takes a little time to get that all ramped up. But anyways, let's go ahead. We already did the Wii review on the previous episode of the podcast, but let's go ahead and just once again talk about the upcoming events this weekend. And that is on Thursday, Rocky Mountain Pro Supercharged 4 finals of the Ignition Championship, and then also all the other great matches. The championship match with Marlon Bishop versus Naya, the three-way dance with Chandler Hopkins, Curtis Cole, and Atiba, as well as so much other matches as well. It's going to be great. I'm going to be there. Hope to see some of you are there. And, if you guys do see me at a show, if you want to just say hi, give me a high five or whatever, that's cool with me. I know sometimes everybody's a little busy and got a lot of other things on their mind. And one of my things I want to try to start doing is start taking more pictures with people, fellow fans, fellow wrestlers, and things of that nature. But sometimes it's just difficult, and I understand all that. And then continuing with the Rocky Mountain Pro experience, no pun intended, that is happening on Friday, the 26th, this upcoming Friday, at the Rack House Pub. And the experience starts at 5 p.m., I believe. Wrestling starts at 9. Should be always a great time to get Rack House rowdy. And then let's go ahead and continue with the Rocky Mountain Pro. They're going to have their Romero's Canine Club show on Saturday at 9 p.m., doors at 8, and in Lafayette. So if you want to get tickets to any of these events, of course, you can get them at the door. They're a little more expensive if you get them day of. So purchase in advance at rmpwrestling.com. And then, like I said, just recap, at 6 p.m., the Redemption Championship Wrestling. They're in Canyon City, Colorado at the Canyon City Middle School. And Iron Hills Championship Wrestling is having their International Warfare event at 8 p.m. at the Union Station, Peak 31 in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So a very, very full weekend in Colorado. Oh, tickets for Iron Hills can be found at IHC, Internet Iron Hills Championship stands for wrestling.com. So ihcwrestling.com. You can get tickets there as well. So I'd like to go ahead and once again thank the Trending Topics Network for hosting the show. And if you like what you hear on Wrestling with Altitude, please subscribe or stay subscribed, and you can catch other great shows such as Wrestling Cheers, the Spanish Announce Table, Eurovision Showcase, All Beer Inside, and so much more. We've got some other shows in the pipeline that are going to come up. Really excited to hear their debuts, so that will be great. Thank you all for listening and having fun wrestling with Altitude.